pants and brown shoes. Yeah, that looks like him. Right there. Stopping now.
Be seated. What a great crowd. On behalf of the Rankin County School District and Florence High School, I want to welcome parents, grandparents, family, and friends to the Florence High School Class of 2021 graduation ceremony. I would also like to recognize a few special guests at this time. First, from District 1 Board of Supervisors, we have Mr. Jared Morrison and his wife, Sheila. Jared's been a great supporter for many years of Florence High School, and he's also a class alumni of 1974. We'd like to say thank you, Jared Morrison. I'd also like to recognize our school board member and a former teacher of some of these students, Ms. Kim Jameson. She's a proud member of the class of 1984. Ms. Jameson says this senior class was her last fourth grade class to have before she retired teaching. but she still works for all the students in Rankin County. We want to thank you for your support and leadership on the Rankin County School Board. Thank you, Kim Jackson. I'd also like to thank, and he's not here, but he's got a lot of his guys here, Sheriff Brian Bailey from the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, and also Chief Greg McClendon from the Florence Police Department, and all their guys that are here to keep us safe tonight. Fortunate enough to have two assistant superintendents on stage with us. We have Dr. Scott Rhymes, and Dr. Andre Scott. He thought he was going to get away with this. We also have Mr. James Sanders. He's another assistant superintendent, and he's in the crowd. And he tells me that he was a proud member of the class of 1988. So give it up to Shane Sanders. We're honored to have Miss Katie Gunn. She's the Steen Creek principal. We have Miss Amanda Clark, Florence Elementary principal. And we have former Florence Elementary principal, now she's Brandon Elementary principal, Miss Valerie Lacey in the crowd. And you know it takes a village to raise a child, and all of these folks and their faculties take credit for helping each of these seniors reach their goal of graduation. If you work in a school system in any capacity, from a bus driver, cafeteria worker, office staff, teacher, assistant teacher, would you please stand at this time so we can give you a round of applause? If you work for the school district, would you please just stand up? It's been a tough year, and these guys have come to work every day to make sure that these students fall, and we owe them a lot of gratitude. At this time, I'd like to introduce our class salutatorian, Mr. Ian McGee, to come and give his speech. I'm going to present Ian with his salutatorian award here before we give it. Congratulations.
Friends, faculty, welcome to the commencement of the Florence High School class of 2021. Tonight, we celebrate the greatest achievement of our young lives, getting the heck out of high school. I remember as a kid growing up, and I would watch movies or shows with high schoolers and about high school, and I couldn't wait to grow up and get there. Just praying that we would break out in a random song or dance routine that was perfectly choreographed in the middle of class. Sadly, it never happened, and I still don't flex that yet. But something even more amazing happened. Life. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say a cliche because it's going to happen at some point. Life is a book, and this moment is merely the end of a chapter. Okay, let me backtrack. I forgot it's 2021. We don't read books. We read Spark Notes. Is all good? You didn't hear that. Let's try this again. Netflix is Life is a Netflix original series. And this is just the season 1 finale. Just like your favorite show, each episode of our life comes with a question. What's going to happen next? That we do not know and won't know until we reach the next episode. I remember in middle school where the teachers were making us do something called career cruising. Y'all probably remember that. Y'all remember that we didn't like it and didn't care to do it because we were young and we didn't think we needed to worry about it. And then we blinked a couple times and, oh, we're graduating now. What do we do? For some of us, we already have our lives planned out. We know exactly what we're going to do. Others aren't so sure yet, and others don't have a clue. But that's okay. In actuality, it doesn't matter. A plan doesn't really matter. Because guess what? In the next episode, we all go to the upside down, where life is completely different, and what we guess may happen may not happen at all. The characters, the settings, the daily lifestyles are all about to change. Everything is about to change in the movie of our lives. It's a little bit scary to think about. but it shouldn't be. If I know one thing about this class, it's our ability to adjust and adapt to a changing world and make the most of what life gives us. Now, it wouldn't be a class of 21's graduation speech if I didn't bring up COVID, so I'm going to do it now. We had a senior year unlike any class before us or to come. A prom with no dancing, masks to cover our face every single day, no homecoming dance, practically no pep rallies, and random 2-week periods where half the class would disappear and reappear on our teacher's computer. But none of this stopped us. Of our class of 162, we had 103 honor graduates, which I think is pretty amazing. If we can persevere through this crazy year, there's nothing that can stop us in our life ahead. One of my favorite quotes of all time comes from William Arthur Ward. Adversity causes some to break and others to break records. I think I know which side we're on. While high school may not have been a musical, but rather an unpaid job, we all learned something in the classrooms that wasn't exactly on the curriculum. Who we are. So now as we move on in the story of our lives, let us hold every memory and lesson close, the good and the bad. Because these are what have and will continue to shape us into the people we will become. Teachers, wherever you are, thank you for everything. For the zero blocks to help the student, to the late nights grading papers so a student would stop worrying about their grades, to the time taken to slow down in class to make sure everyone understands the lesson, to the moments where you gave students mental breaks, whether it be through jokes, random conversations, or a game of chess. We can't thank you enough for all that you do and for the impact you've had in our lives. Fellow classmates, it has been an honor to be your salutatorian and to grow up with many of you. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for us all. Now, everyone get some popcorn, get comfortable, because the next season of life starts tonight, and you don't want to miss a second. God bless the class of 21.
Great job, Ian. It's easy. I can remember the Val and Sal this year because they're both named Ian, so I can't mess that up. Next, we're going to have our assistant principal, Mr. Keith Reed, to come and do our 2021 Hall of Fame flag.
Florence High School is pleased to recognize the 2021 Hall of Fame. These students represent the best of the best in FHS. They are involved in our school and community, demonstrate Eagle pride, are role models for other students, and make you proud to be an Eagle. When I call your name, students, please make your way to the stage. Our first Hall of Fame recipient is Brennan Allman. Brennan is a member of the varsity soccer team where he was a 3-time Ironman Award winner. He's a distinguished service graduate. He's a member of the Business Academy and a member of DECA, FEC Florence Youth Leadership Team. He's on the student government, and he's also with FCA Leadership Team. Brennan Allman. Our next Hall of Fame recipient is Jessie Broadhunter. Jessie is also a distinguished service graduate. She's on the FCA leadership team as a softball representative. She's a member of the FHS softball team. She was softball Most Valuable Defensive Player Award in the Region 6-4A All-District. She's a member of the FHS varsity cross-country team in Region 6-4A All-District. She's a member of Beta Club, Medical Science Academy, POSA, and FCA. And she is also a student athletic trainer for both football and soccer. Miss Jessie Broadwater. Our next recipient is Maggie Dreary. Maggie is a distinguished service graduate. She's the 12th grade class president. She's a student government representative, a member of Nu Alpha Theta, the FHS Medical Science Academy, and Beta Club. She's on the Rankin County School District and the Mississippi Superintendent of Education Student Advisory Councils. She was the 11th grade student body president, and she was a student trainer for Florence High School for the football and baseball teams. Ms. Maggie Dreary. Our next recipient is Sarah Grace Jackson. Sarah Grace is a Florence varsity co-ed cheerleader. She's a UCA All-American cheerleader. She's a member of FCA, a member of HOSA, the Foreign Language Club, and the Medical Science Academy. She's a student government representative. She's also the student council secretary. And she was also the recipient of the Laura Greer Platt Aspiring Teacher Scholarship winner. Ms. Sarah Grace Jackson. Next we have Ian McGee. Ian is our FHS Salutatorian, Distinguished Service Award winner, student body president, varsity football captain, he's on the varsity baseball team, he's accepted the Boys State Leadership Conference, a member of the Rankin County Youth Leadership, a member of Nu Alpha Theta, Phi Theta Kappa, Beta Club, HOSA, and the FCA. He was our WAPT Scholar Athlete, and he was also Florence High School's first ever winner of the MHSAA Lindy Callahan Scholarship for District 6. Mr. Ian McGee. Our next recipient, Miss Allie Sealy. Allie's the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership alumnus. She's on the FHS basketball team where she received Scholar Athlete and MVP awards. She's a member of the Business Team Academy, National Honor Society, Interact Club, and the Random Acts of Kindness Club. She's a member of the FHS yearbook staff, student council class representative, member of the Florence Junior Reds, and she was Florence High School's Lindy Callahan nominee. She can also shoot the three-pointer from just about anywhere on the board. Miss Allie Seaver. Next we have Miss Porsche Smith. She's a member of the FHS Student Council, serves as editor for the FHS yearbook. She's a member of the Beta Club and HOSA, where she's the historian. She was on the FHS track team from 2017 to present, and this year she was part of the girls 4x100 relay state championship team. Yes. She's honorable mention Endangered Species Art Project, and she was first place in the Health Career Photography at State HOSA, and she is also the student body vice president. Ms. Porsche Smith. Ms. Jordan Taylor. Jordan's a member of the FHS JROTC staff. She's a member of the FHS Talent Entrepreneurship and Marketing Academy. She's a member of the FHS yearbook staff. She's a student council representative. She was an FHS baseball diamond girl. She was the winner of the JROTC Legion of Valor Bronze Cross. She's a JROTC American Legion Leadership Award winner, and she is the National Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Award winner. Miss Jordan Taylor. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Ian Watson. Ian is Florence High School's star student, scoring a 35 on the ACT. He is the FHS Valedictorian. He's a member of the Big Red Band leadership team and the percussion captain. He is an Eagle Scout, member of the Student Advisory Council to the State Superintendent of the Mississippi Department of Education. He's a member of the Beta Club and DACA. He is accepted to attend Mississippi Boys State, accepted as a page for the Mississippi State Legislature, and he's a member of the Mayor's Youth Council for Florence, Mississippi. Hall of Fame member, Ian Watson. Please join me in congratulating our 2021 Hall of Fame.
You just heard about Ian Watson, but now I get to honor Ian with our Valedictorian Award, and you get to hear Ian's speech. Ian Watson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ian Watson, and it is my honor to welcome you all to the graduation of the class of 2021. Today, we finally see the results of many long years of studying, writing, and frantically cramming for tests. I'm not sure if this is really sunk in yet, but we are done. We have completed everything from kindergarten to high school. Sure, many of us are moving from one school to another as we transition to college. But this is a major step toward adulthood and all the freedom and responsibilities that it brings. Put simply, our lives are about to drastically change. We will no longer have to abide by our parents' rules and so will their siblings, but their absence will weigh heavy on us. Many of us will move hundreds of miles away from our closest friends, only able to see them on a rare occasion. Our daily schedule will lose the rigidity of the school system, and we will be forced to find ways to use all this newfound free time. Personally, I find much of this change terrible. I mean, the idea of living at college excites me, but it's not like I've spent much time on my own. Sure, I've spent a week or two at summer camp, but that doesn't compare to living in a dorm for 8 months out here. And while I know I can't speak for everyone, I'm certain I'm not the only person here that feels this way. I'm far from the first person to say change is scary, but that doesn't make it any less true. We are about to have our lives flipped upside down. And there is absolutely no change being right. And while I would love to say with full certainty that everything is going to work out perfectly, I can't. I have no idea what the future holds. Maybe our college experience becomes the nightmare scenario we always imagined. Maybe everyone hates us on our first day on the job. There is no way to know for certain. What I can tell you is that in many ways, we've already experienced it. In case you haven't noticed, we've had a pandemic raging throughout the world for more than a year. Life came screeching to a halt in March of 2020. School was shut down, businesses were closed, and we were told to remain in our homes for the foreseeable future. Some of us lost friends or family, and those of you didn't, at least have someone who did. To make matters worse, life just never returned to us, leaving our senior year so full of expectations, a shadow of what we imagined. But none of this stopped any of us from finishing our education and moving forward for the future. We overcame these radical changes to our lives, even when we couldn't be blamed for giving up. This past year has proven we all have the capacity to adapt and change. If we can get through our senior year in the middle of a pandemic, who's to say we can't make it out of the world? It doesn't matter how our college or job turns out, we will find a way. Things may not turn out like we want them to. Like this past year hasn't been ideal. But at least we know we will be okay. We have bright futures ahead of us. And after getting through this past year, it is clear there is nothing that can stand in our way. As I reflect on this past year, I'd like to give my sincere thanks to our teachers, staff, and administration. They have done their absolute best to give us the most normal year possible. Sure, this year wasn't perfect, but you know what? Because of their hard work and dedication to their students, we still had prom. We still played football and basketball and baseball. We kept our senior pep rally and walked to school. We even had a homecoming game open to as many friends and family members as we could bring. Many schools did not have the luxury of such a complete year. It is only through their commitment to us that we got as much as we did. Please join me as we give them them all a big round of applause. Not only for this year, but for every year they have so generously given of their time and effort in service of the student body and the school. I would also like to say thank you to our family and fellow students. In such an isolating time, it's so important to have people around us that can be our support. Without their help, it's likely there wouldn't be as many students as there are sitting in this room today. Please give both our family and ourselves a big round of applause. Before I go, I'd like to leave you with something to think about. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus once said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river if he is not the same man." Just as the river's water continues to flow, time marches ever on. No matter how hard you try, it is impossible to stay within the same water for all your life. Besides, even if you manage that, you're not the same person you were originally. Time continues to move on whether you like it or not, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. New times mean new opportunities. Don't be afraid of the unknown, because we just spent the last year conquering it. Never forget what we just accomplished, because it sets the tone for the next stage of all our lives. Thank you very much.
A disclaimer, I promise I did not help him write his speech. He has a 35 on the ACT and he wouldn't let me, but I love a great speech. This has been a year of first, to say the least, and one of them is how short my speech is going to be. But terms like virtual and choice and Zoom and mask mandate and temperature checks and social distancing and quarantine and hand sanitizing and COVID, they're always going to be associated with the class of 2021. There are things that we have done over the last year that I would have never believed we would have had to do. This senior class has had part of their junior year and all of their senior year hearing words like, "Nope, we can't do that. It's not safe. We can't because of COVID." I just want to tell this class how much I and our staff appreciate your attitude through all of this. You lost so much, but made the best of it and even made some new traditions that we will continue to keep. You could have complained about all the stuff you couldn't do, but y'all were so gracious and knew we were doing the best that we could. This is going into my 20th year as principal, and I can say I have never had to ask a group to give up so much, and I will always appreciate how you handled it. We've excelled in many areas, and we even won a few championships along the way. You are what Eagle Pride is all about. Seniors, will you please stand? Having successfully completed the course of study required by Florence High School, the Rankin County School District, and the Mississippi Department of Education, and by the authority vested in me, I award you, young ladies and gentlemen of the Florence High School senior class of 2021, your diplomas. Assist us in delivering diplomas, and Miss Laura Clark, who has the toughest job of all to get your names right, but she can handle it because she was from the Florence High School class of 2000, and she survived, or that class survived Y2K. Seniors, if you don't know what Y2K is, it's before COVID, and you need to go home and Google what Y2K was, but she can handle anything. She lived through Y2K. But I turn over to Laura.
This is the moment that you're all here for. So before we get started, I would just like to remind you, go ahead, Brent, go ahead. Just like to remind you that this is a formal occasion, and while we are all extremely excited and proud of our seniors, we ask that you hold your applause and any cheering until the end. I would hate for a family to miss their senior's name being called. Ian Freeman Watson. Isaiah Christopher Beverly. Sherelle Brown. Olivia Ray Burnham. Jansen Miles Burnside. Madison Brienne Carroll. Devin Jawan Carter. Liam Daniel Kavanaugh. Grant Matthew Chandler. Taylor Katie Clark. Matthew Blake Coleman. Charles Daniel Calise. Jackson Michaela Combs. Cameron Ross Courtney. Akala Jacarvin Cox. Kiera Denise Cox. Madeline Grace Cox. Dylan Nicole Crenshaw. Connor Reeves Crotwell. Hayden Wade Daniel. Gabrielle Ariana DeBoer. Drew Franklin Diedrich. Jeremy Allen Dowell. Benjamin Richard Palmer Duncan. Madeline Grace Eichwurzel. Lana Morgan Emerson. William Blake Evans. Brooklyn Faye Fant. Brooklyn Nicole Fulgham. Anthony Gary Jr. Jesse Greg Gilmer. Gabrielle Noel Goff. Nicholas Ray Pavilion. Maddie Kathleen Granberry. Taylor Barron Grantham. Cody Bryant Gregg. David Chad Guthrie Jr. Kayla Brianne Hodge. William Connor Hanson. Logan Mark Hart. Callie Lynn Hayes. Jessie Nicole Hedlund. Jacob Riley Hill. Kevon Nutrell Raymond Hines. William Neal Hassall.
Good shot when they walk this way.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Hoffman. Christopher Alexander Holmes.
Last game.
Catherine Renee Horn.
The brown pants. No, brown shoes.
Farrah Marie Johnson.
See the guy walking? Loving his two.
Aaron Joseph King. William Grayson King. Shelby Cheyenne Knighton. Jamarian Anthony Latham.
I lost him.
Ivy Elizabeth Walls.
No, he's still sitting there.
Drew Inde Amir Lewis.
You see the empty room?
Yeah,
It's right
okay.
there.
Oakland Darrell Lewis.
Yeah, but I couldn't frame it for you. I couldn't find it.
You see his white pants and his brown
Yeah.
shoes.
Lamaya Aliyah Lindsay. James Levi Hall. Karen Saray Laredo Solis. Chloe Mackenzie Mackey. Daniel Corey Mangum. Elijah Dustin Mangum. Elena Brooke Marble. Jamarian Rajavan Adaris Mason. Samuel Hubert Massey. Connor Dalton May. Kane Tucker May. Jonathan Reed Mays. Taylor Grace McVeigh. Angela May McLean. Logan Ryder McCullough.
He's still sitting down.
Chloe Michaela McCauley.
Legs kind of cocked apart.
Yeah.
Hannah Grace McNeese. Lainey Grace McWilliams. Robert Lewis Mitchell IV. Abigail Joy Courtney Charlotte Morris. Anna Catherine Mosley. Michael Brantley Hughes. Peyton Elizabeth Hughes. John Michael Newell. Taylor Lane Nicholson. Katie Renee Norsworthy. Krista McKenzie Nutt. Morgan Taylor Phillips. Bella Reeves King. Courtney Blaze Porter. Kate Andrew Purvis. Jake Andrew Powell. Mackenzie Faye Powell. Jonathan Lavon Quick. Landon Scott Ramsey. Macy Kate Reed. Blake Patrick Renfro. Caleb Lee Rigsby. Spencer Dwayne Rigsby. Benjamin Walker Roberts. Haley Marie Robinson. Ronnie Evan Russell. Kamari Taquan Sanders. Jaron Warren Sanders. Mary Lori Sachet. Ryan Jacob Sachet. Jasmine Marie Scoggins. Patrick Tate Shepard. Eric Sullivan Simmons Jr. Michael Tyler Sims. Judith Cheyenne Slade. Emily Gail Smith. Jason Anthony Smith. Kenneth Cole Smith. Rachel May Steen. Thomas Connor Stevenson. Xavier Deshawn Tarver. Dylan Howard Taylor. Bradley Glenn Tillman. Matthew Coates Tillman. William Paul Tillman. Catherine Grace Tucker. Caitlin Brianna Waddell. Mackenzie Alta Grace Walters. Nicholas Shawn Walters. Aiden Cruz Ward. Haley Grayson Weathersby. William Gaddis Watley. James David Whitty III. Cadence Elizabeth Wigley. Elizabeth Ann Williams. Latorica Denise